Hello students, Standard 8, chapter number 16 in physics, light. Now in the last session we learn about the multiple reflections and we get multiple images. When two plane mirrors are kept adjacent by different angles, then you get more than one images of the same object. And there is a device which uses this principle of multiple reflections that is known as a kaleidoscope. Kaleidoscope is a device in which we can see different patterns. For that we need few materials. You can make it yourself also. You need 3 strips of plain mirror, and with that you need some cardboards and plastic, etc. What can we do? You take a 15 centimeter long and 4 centimeter wide 3 rectangular mirror strips, and then join them at an angle of 60 degree like a prism and make a triangular structure. Now then put that in a tube so that it can be saved inside. So tube must be made from the circular cardboard or a tube of a thick chart paper. Also you can use very thick chart paper and make a cylindrical box like material so that you can put it in there. Now make sure that that cardboard box or the tube is little bigger than the edges of that mirror strips. Now the cardboard disc having a hole at the center. So make the one of the end close with the circular disc of the cardboard having the hole in the middle, so that from the hole we can see the patterns inside. Now to make the disc durable, paste a piece of transparent plastic sheet so that it can last for a long time, otherwise it can get damaged. So to save it, you can do like that. And then at the other end, touching the mirror, fix a circular plain glass plate, and then on this plate put several pieces of broken bangles of different colors and close it. Close this end of the disc by a grounded glass plate. And then when you see from that hole and rotate that kaleidoscope, you will see different patterns in the tube. And a very interesting feature of this kaleidoscope is that when you keep rotating that kaleidoscope, you will never see the same pattern again. Every time you see, every time you turn, never the pattern will be repeated. Means every time you will get new and new and new patterns. So that is the very interesting. You can make yourself also, and I am giving you as a project. All the students, you have to make it for yourself, and when we come to school, you have to show me so that I can give you some special marks for that. So now, as I told you, that it is never get the same pattern again. Who used this? Designers of clothes, fabric material. You know that every time the new sarees, new clothing materials, bed sheets, etc. are printed with different type of designs. So the fabric designer use this kaleidoscope. They see inside and they get the idea to get the new patterns of the fabrics. Similarly, the wallpapers, you know that wallpapers available in different design. because people like different types of walls on their in their rooms. So the wallpapers are also made by taking the idea from the kaleidoscopes. Also the jewelers like artists and others also, all of them get the new ideas of the new patterns by using this kaleidoscope. Now we are talking about the dispersion of light. You know that light, sunlight is referred to as a white light. It is referred to as a white light. But now if you pass that white light through the prism, what happens? It divides into 7 colors, and that process is known as dispersion of light. The splitting of white light into its constituent colors is called dispersion. The sunlight is referred to as a white light which composed of 7 colors, and you know that 7 colors are that rainbow colors, VIBGYOR, Vibgyor, right? So the dispersion of light, so you already learn about it, the dispersion of light in the standard 7 also, about the rainbow also. So we are not going to go in detail about it because we are already aware of that things. Now we are talking about structure of our eye. You know that our eye is a very delicate organ which is very sensitive, and it enables us to see the beautiful things around us. So now how do we see the objects? So we see things only when light coming from them enters our eyes. So when the light coming from the object enters our eyes, and then we are able to see that object. Now it is the eye has a roughly spherical shape, and as I told you, it is a very important sense organs. Now our eye is roughly like a spherical, like a small marble. It is a spherical ball type material. The outer coat of the eye is white, which it is tough so that it can protect the interior of the eye from accidents. So its transparent part, front part, is called the cornea. So first part is the cornea, the outermost layer which is a transparent, and that is known as the cornea. Behind the cornea we find a dark muscular structure called iris. You can see that in the eye. Behind this cornea you can see the dark colored big round muscular structure. It is called the iris, and in the iris there is a small opening called the pupil. So in that dark colored round, in the middle you will see a very small hole opening through which the light enters the eye, and that is known as the iris. The second part is the iris, and then in the iris there is a small opening called the pupil. So that iris, and inside the iris middle the hole, that is known as the pupil. The size of the pupil is controlled by the iris. The iris is that part of eye which gives it its distinctive color. So the iris are of different colors. Some have very dark black color, some have brown color, some have green colored eyes also. So it depends on the color of that iris. When we say that a person has green eyes, we refer actually to the color of the iris. The iris controls the amount of light entering into the eye. You know that when somebody throw a light of beam on your eye accidentally, like by the torch, what will happen? We will close our eye. Why? Because it can damage our retina, and therefore the iris controls that pupil and so the less light is entering. So it controls the eye. Now observe the size of the pupil, and when the torch is not, then the pupil will be of the normal size. It means that iris is controlling the pupil. When it is very bright light, we close our eye or we make the eye very small. If you look at the very bright light, it happens, and therefore that is controlled by this iris. So the enough light only entering the eyes. Behind the pupil of the eye is a lens which is thicker in the center. So behind the iris and pupil there is a eye lens which is thicker in the middle, means it is like a convex lens. That we learn about the lenses. It is like a convex lens. Recall what you learn about the lesson. I told you that it is a convex lens, and the lens focuses light on the back of the eye and on a layer called a retina. So when the eye enters through the pupil, then it falls on that lens, and then it makes the image on the retina. Means that ray of the light falls on the layer which is known as retina. Now this retina consists of different type of cells like nerve cells, cone cells and rod cells. So now the cones, the nerve cells is feeling the sensation. So the retina contains several nerve cells. Sensations felt by the nerve cells are then transmitted to the brain. So the nerve cells, they give that message, the transmissions, right, transmitted to the brain through the optic nerve. And there are two kinds of cells, as I told you, the cone cells and rod cells. Cone cells which are sensitive to bright light, and rod cells which are sensitive to dim light. And the cones sense color. The cone cells are detecting the color, that it is a white color or red color or a green color. So that is the work of cone cells. If your eyes don't have enough cone cells, then the people is called the color blind. Means it cannot distinguish between the different colors, because in the retina, on the retina, there are no cone cells or very few cone cells. Then they can detect only few colors, but not the distinction between the different colors. So then it is known as the color blindness. And the rods which are sensitive to dim light. But at the junction of optic nerve, because at the end retina is connected by the optic nerves, and that optic nerves, as I told you, they take that images, that electric messages which are known as the sensations. So that sensations felt by the nerve cells, they are taking to the brain by this optic nerves, and optic nerves take the messages, and then the brain interprets the image, and then we can see that image. Now at the junction, means at the connection where the optic nerves and the retina are joined, at that place there is no cone cells, there is no rod cells, and therefore if the vision is falling on that object, that particular space, then the image cannot be visible, and therefore that spot is known as blind spot. So at the junction of optic nerve and the retina, there are no rod or cone cells, so no vision is possible here. So it is known as the blind spot. Now I hope you have noticed that when we see an object, and then after we move our eye at the other place, then still the image is on our retina. It means that still generally we close the eyes also, then the figure of that particular object will be still on our retina. So the impression of image persists for about 1/16 of a second on the retina even after we have stopped seeing the object. Means you have to try it. Look at the one object for a while. Then move your eye to the other side. Then still the figure, the shape of that object will be still visible in your eye, because on the retina the image of an object still persists about 1/16th of a second. Doesn't matter, we are not looking at the object also, and therefore if still images of a moving object are flashed on the eye at a rate faster than 16 seconds, then the eye perceives this object as moving. It means that if you move your hand from here to here, and if you take pictures at different things, different heights, and if these all pictures you take faster from your eyes, in front of your eyes, and the faster means 16 seconds, more than faster than the 16 seconds, means in 16 less than 16 seconds, if everything is moved in front of your eyes, then it look like that the object is moving. It means that it will look like that your hand is really in motion in that picture. And by this method, the movies that we see in the theater, in which lots of pictures of the same motion is passing through a rate more less than the 16 seconds, and therefore we can see those pictures as an action, and thus we can see the movie like that. Now, range of normal vision. If you try to read the book very near to your eyes, will you be able to do it? No. At least you have to keep 25 centimeter distance. So you can see object only which are far at 25 centimeter, not less than 25 centimeter, and far you can see up to sky, means infinity. So the range between the infinity and 25 centimeter is called the range of the normal eye. So that 25 centimeter is also known as near point. Near point, it means that we can see only the object beyond 25 centimeter, not before that. If you try to read keeping near than 25 centimeter, then it will be difficult for you. You will read, but you have to do your eyes like that, and then it is impossible and your eyes will get damaged. So at least a 25 centimeter distance should be there, and up to that you can see the objects up to the sky. It means infinity. So that is the range of the normal eye. So what is the range of the normal eye? That is the 25 centimeter to the infinity. So here we learn about the things, and for that there is an activity also about that I told you. For that, what you have to do, we have to take two cardboards of the same size. On one side you have to draw a cage for a bird, and other side you have to draw a bird which can be smaller than the cage. It means that it can be accommodated in the cage. Now tie them with one along at the back, and then hang it and move it very fast. When you move it very fast, then you will see that you will get illusion that the bird is in the cage. Why? Because of that I told you that our impression of image persists for about 1/16. So when it is moving very fast, just you look at the cage. Still after that the bird's photo will be in your eyes, but still that image is still on the retina, and it look like that the bird is in the cage. So that is the activity. You can do it yourself also by doing that. It is shown in our book also. Now in the next session we will finish this chapter about the care of the eyes and the brain system, etc. So we are going to finish this session, followed by the PDF, and if any confusion, write down in the comment section. Thank you very much.